Hello and welcome to Jason Miller's first YouTube prediction show thingy, whatever you want to call it. The top four get videos. How about that? Actually, I've been thinking about it. I know Jessen. Actually, if it wasn't for Jessen, none of this would be possible. So I want to make sure that Jessen gets a pat on the back because this was his idea. And to be honest with you, my back was hurting from typing up all this gibberish for all you guys anyway. So this is a lot less painful. Although I'm wasting a lot of my life, it's a good time that I have all this free time because just trying to edit the first time I went through this was a pain in the ass. And it takes a lot longer to try to edit the freaking video than just shoot it again. So we're just going to try again. So, like I said, this is all up to Jessen. Thanks, Jessen. Tom, the number 4 team. I know at Cards Friday night, everybody was like, oh, Chuck's team is much better, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm going by right now. And yes, Chuck's pitching staff is amazing. I just got a text tonight that said, hey, guess what? I have the number 1 pitching staff because Bob offered me Max Scherzer for Michael Morse, and I accepted it right away. And for some reason, I sound like Mike Torres. But that's great for Chuck's team. It makes his pitching even better, but it makes his offense all the worse. And the first couple months of this season, he's going to struggle offensively, and for some reason, he's not understanding that. But anyway, Tom isn't... I don't know much about Tom, so I don't know how funny this is going to be, quote-unquote. I know that Tom's brother hates me, so that's something that I know. But I have Tom's team ranked 4th overall, but the offensive ranking is 7th. Obviously, one of his key players is a catcher, Buster Posey. Every fantasy publication, everything that I've seen says to trade Buster now because he will never have another catching year like this. Kind of makes sense. You know, it's the best year in 70 years that any catcher's ever had. But he hit 370 in the second half. I mean, that's just ridiculous. The thing about Posey that bothers me the most is that they got Fatso batting 3rd and then him batting 4th. And I don't think Pablo's going to get on base that much because I'm telling you, he's going to have a down year. And then they've got Pence batting 5th. And we'll get to Pence later on. But I don't know why they're going to pitch to Posey. I don't understand why they would. So I think a lot of his offensive numbers are going to take a hit just for that reason. But for Tom's team, it's great because he's got Napoli next in line to catch. And he actually hit better on the road than he did in Texas last year. So, I mean, he's no joke. He's not just a Texas guy. And there's the last 3 seasons that he's hit 230, and then he hit 320, and then he hit 227. So basically, you know, every projection that I'm seeing is 250, you know, get in the middle of that. I don't know where he goes there. I know he's going to hit 30 home runs for Boston, and that's good enough for me. So, yes, Tom, very strong at the catcher position. I'll throw Grandal out there, too, because, again, projections say he's going to hit 302. But he's obviously, you know, going to start the season, you know, because he was BFFs with Melky Cabrera, you know, the 50-game PED suspension. So I don't know exactly what you're going to get from him. So I'm just going to sort of bypass him and go on to Joey Votto. He was having an MVP season until he got hurt. I was a little bit nervous because I wasn't sure if he's going to heal fully. From everything I see, he's going to. You know, he's a 330 home run guy, 100 RBIs, and it doesn't really get much better than that. So I'm just kind of bypass him because he's great. So what else can you say about him? Now, the backups at first baseman, we got Justin Morneau. 11 homers in his last 3 years at Target Field. He can't hit there. There's other free agent options that I'd rather have than Justin Morneau on my team. But it's Tom's team, so I guess he can do what he wants. Next guy, we're going to move to second base. Ian Kinsler. Ian Kinsler helped me win a championship in 2011, no doubt about it. I would show you the trophy, but Matt's too cheap to get one or even ask about one. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to have a trophy to at least say I won something because God knows I don't win anything. So, or Ben, when I win, what happens? Yeah, you take my money away, jerk. Anyway, Kinsler, 256, 19 homers, 21 stolen bases last year. That is fantastic for a second baseman, but he's not going to play second base forever. And that was the reason why I got rid of him now. I mean, he did score 105 runs, too. I mean, he's legit. But once they move him out to the outfield, because, as you all know, you need Andrus hitting those 3 home runs a year because you got to make sure he's at shortstop and Profar is the next stud. He's going to come in and play second base. So Kinsler is going to get moved to the outfield, so I think his fantasy value is going to sort of fade over the next couple of years, so I just thought it was a good time to get rid of him. He's good right now, especially at second base. But the backup he has is Ackley. He only hit 226 last year, and he had 600 at-bats. I would say that this year's probably the last chance he gets, but they're still going to hit him at the top of that order, and hopefully he turns it on now because he was supposedly healthy last year. Nobody knew why he couldn't hit. So we'll see how that works out. We've got J-Roll. J-Roll's 34 years old. 550 at-bats in 11 of the last 12 seasons. So he's very, very durable. But he hit 240 the second half of last year, which is kind of why I was sort of ready to get rid of him because he was on my team. And, I mean, he did steal 30 bases. He's one of the best base stealers in the league, actually. I just thought it was time to get rid of him. I mean, for him as his shortstop, he is good for now. I mean, Segura is his backup, but he doesn't really hit it all. He did steal 44 bases through all 3 levels last year. So, I mean, he'll get him the steals, but he doesn't really do anything else. Now we'll go on to the bust, which is, for me, it's Adrian Beltre. And you might say, why is Beltre a bust when he's hit 314, 32 homers, 103 RBIs averaged over the last 3 years? And the answer is Hamilton's gone. So, again, why are we pitching to Beltre? It makes no sense. I mean, you're going to let Lance Berkman beat you if Lance Berkman's in the lineup because he probably has, a bruised hip bone or something. He's not going to stay healthy anyway. So I don't see Beltre being. I mean, he would be a fantasy bust because he's not going to have a great year. He'll probably still have a good year out of default in Texas, but I would consider him a bust from his previous years. Other third basemen, we've got 2 iffy ones because none of the magazines, none of the stuff I'm seeing says that Kyle Seager's going to do what he did last year. But to me, I think he will because he hit 15 of his 20 home runs on the road, and now they brought the fences in at Safeco. So I think he is a definite, a good buy kind of guy right now. But on the other flip side of that, Frazier, the projections seem higher on. And I know he's got third base and first base eligibility, but why did it take him so long to figure it out? He's 27. I mean, I didn't realize he was this old. I want to see him do it again. And before we get too crazy, I know he's in a great hitter ballpark and all that, but I want to see him do it again before I'm buying the projections that I'm seeing for Frazier. Sleeper, for me, it's Willingham. And mainly the reason why I say he's a sleeper is because, I mean, he was on our free agent list until after the All-Star break, until Stifler finally picked him up, or somewhere around the All-Star break last year. And, I mean, this guy hits 30 home runs in Target Field. Nobody else does that. And he hits 250, but he's not hitting 220, So, I mean, he had 100 RBIs. I don't see what else you'd want. Justin Upton. I can't stand the Uptons. I mean, and the favoritism towards them and anything I see just baffles me. Okay, so they say that Justin Upton's floor was the 2012 year, okay? 280, 17 home runs, 67 RBIs. Now, he did manage to score 107 runs, which doesn't actually make sense for the little other numbers he had, but whatever. That's his floor. So, basically, the projections are saying, oh, he's going to go back to the 2011 Justin Upton, where he was hitting in Arizona. Not Atlanta. Not Atlanta. It's not a good place to hit. And something else about Upton is that at least his brother steals some bases. He doesn't steal any bases. His career high was 21 in 2010. I just think he and his brother are so effing overrated. And then, speaking of Upton, okay, Desmond Jennings. B.J. Upton Jr., same guy. 240, 20 home runs, 30 stolen bases. That's his tops. I mean, that's the best he's going to do. And, I mean, it's good as a supplemental player just as long as you're not using him as your outfielder all the time. And, I mean, really, I think Tom's outfield's all over the place because then you got Melky Cabrera, who, you know, is he going to hit 346 or is he going to hit 285 like he did with everybody else? I don't know. I have no freaking idea. I mean, it's probably more in the middle. He's probably like a 300 hitter. It's possible, I guess. But, again, it's nobody knows. And then VCA Edo, 25 home runs, 250 average, pretty much. He seems like he's got power everywhere, and he's hitting in USL Euro, so he'll hit the home runs. I know, actually, again, a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing about him is saying that they don't like that he doesn't make a lot of contact, but, at least his batting average is up around 250, so maybe they're saying, he's lucky with the balls in play stuff. I don't know. But, and then there's Hunter Pence, okay, which I said we'd get back to later on. He hit 219 with 7 homers in 59 games after being traded from the Phillies. I don't think he can hit, and I mean, if he should, that lineup was pretty decent with the Giants. I don't think he can hit in that ballpark, to be honest. I think it's, he went from Houston to Philly and good lineups, and then, I mean, not that the Frisco lineup was terrible, but it's a drop-off, and then he sort of got exploited. And that's why I think that Posey's number is going to drop, and like I said, I don't like Pence. And, I mean, like I said, I don't think Tom's offense is fantastic. I think it's okay. Back on the Chuck again, I do think Chuck's offense will be a second half offense, and that's why I have right now the second Tom's team as better than Chuck. Now this is only going to be part 1 because these videos take forever to upload onto YouTube. I even tried to down the HD. I mean, obviously you want to see HD me. I mean, but I even went down to like 720 or something just to try to make it less time, and it's still taking forever. And next time we're gonna have a different outfit because I look like I'm robbing somebody. I'm pretty black, so. And that wasn't a racist comment, but I'm wearing black just to make sure that we don't offend anybody here. So I guess that's it. I know Justin mentioned that that I should do something all the time with this. I might do something every now and then after the initial doing everybody's doing these top 4 predictions during the season. I might do something every now and then. I can do something monthly, like best pickup move, worst drop, blah 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 blah. Like probably for a month I could do that, but there's not enough that happens in a week. I mean, there would be for Ben's team, but everybody would get sick of me talking about Ben. So anyway, so I guess that's it. Hope it didn't bore you too much because I'm seeing I'm past the 15-minute mark. Wow, that's a long time. So I will see you tomorrow for part 2. Bye.